Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody, to the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. I am your host, Crypto Bro. And if you haven't already noticed, there is a big white spot on the wall behind me. It fell down. There is plenty of evidence suggesting that I did not do a good enough job hanging it, so it is most certainly my fault that beautiful, beautiful channel logo fell off my wall on Saturday. But it didn't break. Very, very sturdy. My mom made that sign for me. Gotta love it. It fell. So it's just going to be a white space for today until I gather the supplies and put it back in place. But it's Monday. Excuse me. We are back. And let me ask, is anybody sad yet? Is anybody sad right now? I got plenty of reasons to suggest that maybe you might be a little sad. Maybe just a little, maybe just a little bit sad here. Plenty to discuss in the market today, except today might be a shorter video. I might have to throw in a couple of stragglers that I want to do. No requests. Again, that just kind of makes me wonder if there are people who are mad at the market at the current moment in time. I most certainly am not mad at the market right now. I'm actually pretty excited for the pending market price action movements that we have witnessed over the last few days. So we definitely have plenty to talk about there. Give me 1 second as I score some free cash. There we go. So yeah, I think we're just gonna hop and skip and jump and dive right into it. We're gonna start focused on NASDAQ, of course, here. And for right now, I have the major, I forgot one. But I have the major levels, the most important levels that I'm focusing on right here, highlighted. I guess I didn't get to extending that chart here, but we will. A nice little liquid zone here. That would be a little more appropriate. Maybe. I'd say that's appropriate here for a liquid zone. But we're going to focus on a couple of major levels that I'm currently paying attention to here. Fully focused on the daily time frame because that's the time frame that I trade, right? But looking at price action right now, we have rejection at a major critical level here. Technically, yet another lower high being confirmed on NASDAQ's price action. Slight change of behavior below what I classify as an inconsequential low here, and price action shatters through support and now flipped it to new tentative resistance. I'm going to be looking for price action right now to potentially look for newer lows, if not today, in the next couple of days here, to look for new lows below the current support at 13,950 here. And if that condition is met, I'll look for a flip to tentative new resistance before looking for that next target to the downside. Again, I am playing with majors. I'm not accounting for the inconsequential levels that may follow to the downside. We could see some bouncy bounce regions at like 13,460 or something like that. But realistically, the next valid target that I'm going to be eyeballing here for price action is roughly around $13,000 even. And that kind of spells a little bit of disaster for NASDAQ stocks here, as we just see the bearish flip of continuation glooming in the dark right now. Again, nothing confirmed as of yet, but very, 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 very circumstantial evidence here to suggest maybe that we see price action continue further down. Again, we are coming on a new downtrend here, taking out these lows and flipping to new structural lows. We took out this whole uptrend structure here. Now, yes, technically, it would be valid to mark a little bit of a different type of trend line here, but that's not the one I wanted. It's actually a good mark though, to be quite honest with you. The trend line's defeated. I mean, you could go like this and say, but we still have an uptrend line. Yes, you would, technically be correct, but with the way the structure is looking right now, this was the more valid one in my opinion, just because of all the touch points. Right here again, we have. I'm trying to get used to the drawing tool again. First low here, boom. We can see all these touch points here that put a lot of weight on that diagonal trend line of peace and prosperity. No longer applies right now. We're trending down, guys. This is what a downtrend looks like, and this is what a major downtrend looks like when it's about to open up. Again, I could be wrong, but with the way the structure is looking at the current moment in time, we are being controlled by the 21 exponential moving average right now, and it is sending price action much further down. And again, when you look at the structure as a whole, I did mention, boom, we got our all-time high here, boom, lower high, boom, lower high. Just a classic downtrend here. So realistically, I'm going to be looking for this next target to the downside, if not maybe a little bit lower. Again, because we are potentially looking at a bear market structure. I would be looking for price action to continue to the downside long term, obviously with relief rallies and bounces along the way. That is clearly what this is right now. I will be even more so convinced if we see closures again below 13,950. Now with the structure from a bullish perspective here, I guess the RSI is the only one that's possible with price action. We do see a reversal style candlestick after a tentative test of support here, get bought back up. Again, remember, reversal style candlesticks are not indicative of price action direction, right? Just because I see a reversal style candlestick here does not mean I'm looking for a specific direction. No, not at all. It could flip either which way. Reversal style candlesticks are indicative of indecision in the market, and we got some indecision yesterday, and we're not seeing too much exciting price action right now. But unless we confirm a higher low right here, I'm not classifying it as anything. Again, higher low in confluence with the prior low. Now we're kind of focused on the micro structure, right? The microstructure could, tentatively flip back to a bullish structure and confirm some sort of uptrend, but I don't like the lower high. Again, I cannot provide that much evidence right now for the bullish sentiment. Stochastics rejecting the bottom side of the bullish control zone. I mean, it didn't get quite to the 65 read, but close enough is close enough. Rejecting the bullish control zone bottom. Now looking for a free dive into the 50 read potentially looking at a critical signal for continuation to the downside right here with stochastics. RSI not looking too exciting either. A little bit of bearish divergence. Boom, crashes through the exponential, forces it back to a negative slope. And again, when looking from the exponential perspective here, lower high after lower high after lower high is all I'm seeing right now. Tentative rejection of the 50 read 2 times. Not really convincing that this one's ready to look for a flip to the upside. What does a 4-hour time frame say? The 4 hour suggests potentially it could do that. Nice little curl up. 4 hour stochastics does suggest a little bit of a movement up, maybe a test of the 21 exponential and tentative resistance at 14,490. But again, if we don't see a rally, if we don't see this curl to the upside, I'm just going to be looking for continuation to the downside. RSI here, a little bit of a lower high as well. Not looking to the healthiest either. But again, we do have a little bit of a 4 hour time frame uptrend structure to be considering right now. But again, what weight does that carry compared to the daily, right? Now, when I look at the 4 hour and I'm like, it could, I always go back to the daily and say it needs to do this for me to be comfortable with any kind of call, either way to the upside or the downside. Right now, I'm just being patient, just kind of waiting to see how confirming new resistance will act, see if price action continues to the planned lower point here, or if we kind of reverse from this position and put in a little bit of a higher low, right? Just a little bit. Again, from a microstructure perspective, it is possible. The structure, again, doesn't convince me, but it's in the plan. Remember, guys, if you fail to plan, your plan is to fail. I do have multiple perspectives and multiple probabilities outlined in my game plan for taking trades realistically. Again, I am going semi-pro next month. I'm going to be playing with much bigger numbers. I'm going to start testing my comfort zone a little bit, maybe exceeding my comfort zone, but I think it's a necessary step to grow as a trader, to grow as an investor, to grow as a provider of technical information, not financial advice, just technical information, and kind of strengthen my validity as a day trader. That's kind of the goal that I'm kind of outlining right now. So again, it's not financial advice, but I'm looking at this structure very, 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 very carefully. Trust and believe me, because if we are to see some kind of continuation to new lows, I'm going to be fully convinced that we're likely seeing a little bit of a weekly continuation to the downside. Again, the weekly is also on new lows, has burst through the $14,500 support here, and look, nice little wick back up towards that region here. is reflected on the daily time frame with that relief rally, but it is quickly getting sold off. So, the weekly time frame structure not looking too hot either. Looking at tentative rejection of the 50 read on a weekly time frame. New lows. This whole structure here was taken out, but stochastics as well, looking to achieve, has achieved new lows as well. Weekly doesn't convince me, right? Weekly doesn't convince me of continuation to the upside either. Actually, just more continuation to the downside. So, kind of just waiting to see what happens, looking at the structure unfold and seeing if this plays out as a legitimate bear market here, because again, I am excited. SPY futures here, technically, yes, it's argued it's a higher high, but the same sentiment applies. It is a lower high. From a microstructure perspective, maybe from a 4-hour time frame perspective, it would be classified as a higher high, but guess what? We have all of these contributing factors to tell us otherwise. Contributing factor number one, we breached the 21 exponential, and yes, we did force it to a positive slope, but got rejected the next day, right? Lower high structure, all-time high, lower high, straight down diagonal trend line formation, boom, just like that. Clearly defined touch points here. Not bullish in my opinion. Excuse me. And we just confirmed back below the 21 on the 10th, 5 days ago. So, again, more tentative evidence to suggest that we have downside continuation as the most likely probability here. Again, I'm not saying we couldn't confirm a higher low in this region, bounce back up, but again, until we see new highs on either structure, I did forget to mention, until I see new highs above 15,001 on NASDAQ, I won't be looking for continuation. It is planned, and that target would be 15,650, but until that condition is met, I'm not looking to the upside. Same thing applies on SPY futures. Until I see higher highs, I am not convinced that this is a legitimate uptrend in formation here from the macro structure. Now, technically, we don't have structural lower lows. Again, we do have this to consider here. But again, the structure is similar. It doesn't have to be perfect for it to be technical analysis. We see the pressure in the wicks, to the downside. We saw a nice relief rally. Boom. The weekly likely looks the same, right? Yeah, weekly, bounces back up, hits tentative resistance, tests the 21 on the weekly time frame. Boom, crashes back to the downside. Lower high to likely be confirmed. Not looking good, right? Not looking good across the board. And again, this is why I don't get excited for relief rallies until I get those critical, pivotal points. And I'm saying they're not tradable because, yes, you technically had a tradable trade above the 21, albeit it would have been really quick, one take profit and then no take profit. It's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast, man. It doesn't always work when it comes to those little relief rallies, because those little relief rallies can always just flip, like in this current example, into a potential structural lower high for the macro structure, which is inherently bearish. So unless I see this micro trend flip, confirm a higher low here without taking out the current low, again, I'm looking for bearish momentum to the downside. Stochastics here rejecting the bullish control zone. I just say the bullish critical zone, but 3/4 way up the bullish control zone, boom, rejected. If it typically doesn't stay in there long and exits quickly, I'm considering that and classifying that as rejection. But again, another point of evidence here is just the array of lower highs that we're looking at in the entire structure as a whole. Pressures to the downside, no matter how I look at it, that's what I'm seeing, is pressure is on to the downside until proven otherwise, ladies and gentlemen. RSI riding that diagonal trend line that we put in place here, coming back up, testing, just kidding, back below the exponential, and the same thing applies with the exponential as well. Lower high after lower high after lower high. So realistically, I'm going to be looking for continuation to the downside, again, until proven otherwise. Until something structurally breaks to the upside, I see bearish pressure. I see potential new lows coming into the formation. I see plenty of take profits on some shorts to the downside as a very, very, very realistic probability here. And again, the proof otherwise would be new freaking highs. A higher low, continuation back above the 21 exponential, and new highs above, 45.75 in the current resistance for the structure. These are inconsequential. I'm going to get rid of these. Boom. Boom. Nah, those don't really matter here. Again, paying attention to the major structure. tentative rejection, potential lower high, potentially going to play out, and I'm going to be looking for price action to continue. Did see moving to the upside here, confirming above the 21. Yes, confirming above the 21. Yes, confirming above the 21. We do see a positive slope on the 21 exponential as well. Let's look at RSI, a little bit of pressure to the downside. Could see some bullish divergence start to formulate here, but stochastics clearly reading an upside in momentum right now. Same thing with the US dollar index here. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, and we clearly have a very well-defined uptrend line structure here. Let's go ahead and highlight those touch points. Boom, 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 boom. Plenty of touch points to suggest the validity of this uptrend line structure, and pressure to go along with that as well. So, ooh, my bad. Got the wrong tool open. So looking at the immediate structure right now, again, higher low has been confirmed. A breach above and a confirmation closure above the 21 has been confirmed. Wouldn't be out of the question to see a little bit of a pullback to test tentative support once again at like 95 spot 90 here, but I am going to be looking for a tentative test and potential move above 96 spot 70 here. And if that condition is met, I'm going to be looking for new highs in the structure and the bullish trend to continue to the upside towards 97 spot 70 here. But if we get a lower high, wouldn't be out of question to see a retest of the current lows at 95 spot 30 here. And if we see new lows here, then I'm going to have to throw the uptrend theory potentially out the window for a little while and then start reclassifying the uptrend structure as a whole. And I would be looking for the next tested target down here at 94 spot 87. Anything below there, I'm going to classify as a full change of behavior for the US dollar index, and I'm going to be looking for various continuations to the downside here. But again, US dollar index is bullish for now, in my opinion. No evidence to suggest that it's going to flip to a bearish perspective quite yet, which means not so good for the rest of the stock market, right? Again, plenty of evidence in NASDAQ and SPY futures to suggest, a little bit of sell pressure in the stock market right now. Moving on, Hall of Fame. This one's going to be for my one of my close family members here. He's heavily invested in the Hall of Fame, just like I am. Not looking good. Still not looking good. Did see a little bit of an open to test the 21 here the other day. Got fully rejected back into this consolidation phase here. You could move the lines just a little bit to capture those touch points here, but nonetheless, it remains in that choppy consolidation phase here. No real momentum to be spoken of. I get it. The question was, the stochastics is going up, but price action is going sideways. Again, look at the stochastic structure. In relation to how price action is moving, right? Again, price action is the number one most important thing to consider. Price action, horizontal support and resistance, 21 exponential, and then RSI stochastics, right? Those are the five indicators that I use to determine, confidence on price action move here. And the first one I'm looking at here, again, price action, still consolidating. Number two, horizontal support and resistance. Price action remains between $1.05 and $1.13 here, never really breaking and escaping that region here. Evidence number three, test of the 21 exponential here, getting rejected, forcing price action back into that consolidation phase. Number four, stochastics tests the top side of the bearish control zone, breaks above it for a very short period of time, and re-enters it. That's a bearish, a little bit of a bearish perspective here. And perspective five, stochastics, false momentum here. Again, I see how it's climbing to the upside and curl and curl and curl into the upside, but what is price action doing in relation to that? Nothing. You see stochastics go to the upside, but price action not following suit. It's likely a show of false momentum, in my opinion. So, technically speaking, stochastics is going to continue to climb to the upside like that, in my opinion, unless we see a break of support here at $1.05, and we know what's below that region here. I cannot get a realistic Fibonacci retracement perspective, again, because from cycle high to cycle low, this is the Fibonacci retracement, negative 57 cents, and that to me is just unrealistic here. To the upside, quite obviously, we did see a little bit of an up, a little bit of up pressure here with that open above support, but again, it just sold right back below it, never confirmed it as support, never even closed above it to, give you that warning shot fired here, and then saw continuation further down towards support here until we break above this support at $1.18 and more conservatively above the 21 exponential with an open and closure to confirm. I'm looking for sideways or continuation down. that the same principle applies to the continuation down. Until I see a $5 break, open and close to flip as new tentative resistance. Again, consolidate just like the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. When you see consolidation, it is consolidation until the end of consolidation. Range traders, probably very happy, pinching off the pennies that they're getting on these moves here. Definitely tradable. Not for me. I'm not a range trader. I prefer to just trade the breakouts above and breakdowns below the 21. But it is what it is. Different things floats people's boats, and what floats my boat's the 21 EMA here. It's been quite successful for me over the last 9 or 10 months here. I'm going to continue to use it until it stops working for me, right? That's kind of what it is about trading, trade it until it doesn't work anymore. And until the 21 exponential doesn't work for me anymore, I'm going to trade it. What's next? Let's look at Bitcoin here. I know people probably interested in Bitcoin, potentially looking at a higher low here. This is an uptrend. This is definitely an uptrending structure here. Cryptocurrency kind of, confirming, looking to confirm uptrend continuation here. If we do get a higher low confirmed off the 21 exponential here, I will be looking for new highs with another tentative test towards 46,250. Any candle closure above there gets me very excited for continuation. Probability to increase towards the $51,000 region. Unless we get rejected here. If we get rejected here, I'll look for the 21 exponential again, right around 41,780. And if we close below that 21 exponential, then I'm going to be looking for like 38,002. Potentially even a stab down at the previous low at 36,835, and look for the trend to flip as well in confluence with the rest of the stock market. Because let's be realistic, ladies and gentlemen, right? Let's be realistic. We did have this sharp decline. Very evident. There's a lot of evidence here on this trend line structure to support negative pressure. It broke to the upside here, which is a really good thing. If we want to see some change of behaviors, we did confirm a change of behavior by confirming new highs over a very critical point in price action, in my opinion, right around a 44,000 to 140 region here. Boom, new highs confirmed, support confirmed, moves up, sells off a little bit, comes back down for a little bit of a test on the 21 exponential, and now we're seeing buy pressure off the 21 exponential, send price action up. RSI reading this very well here. Coming down, testing the 50 read, testing the exponential, boom. Prints a low call here, confirms support on the 50 read, very juicy signal for potential continuation. And we do see stochastics is coming to the downside and has not quite escaped the bullish control zone, but is going towards the bottom side of the bullish control zone. Again, unless I see confirmation below it, if it curls back up, which it looks like it wants to try to relieve some of that pressure, be very, very, very bullish to see support on the bullish control zone bottom here for stochastics. So things are kind of lining up. Again, I do notice the negative slope still in stochastics, but we're coming on new higher highs. Basically being in the bullish critical zone for the first time since here, the October 19th, 2021. I do like it. I do like it until proven otherwise. I'm going to be looking for continuation on Bitcoin. I'll do one more. A very short stream tonight. Actually, I wanted to show you guys this. We were talking about how crude oil went into the negatives, right? We were talking about how crude oil went into the negatives, but I couldn't show you the chart because I didn't remember what chart it was, but I'm pretty sure I found the chart. This is back in the coronavirus crash when crude oil decided to just become non-existent and sink itself all the way down to negative levels here. There's your wick, negative $39, I believe. Negative 40, spot 32. Just wanted to show you that. Crude oil, when the coronavirus dump happened, crashed to negative $40. Could have been a hell of a buy. Even like $100 in there could have made you a pretty fucking penny here. Let's look at that. One more. Let's look at the ones on my trading stocks here. I think it was Apple that looks really nice. You know, Apple has an uptrending structure right now. This is going to be the last one for the night, but, you know, we have a little bit of a short-term time frame downtrend in perspective right now, just a little bit. Yeah, lower lows confirmed here. Nice little bounce. Looking more like NASDAQ on the daily, to be quite honest with you. Confirming structural lower lows below the previous 2 lows here. Bouncing up, confirming, you know, some kind of lower high structure, and now looking to potentially break support on the shorter term time frames. Anything below 168 here, I will look for a full retracement all the way down to 157 here. But again, I trade the daily time frame. I was on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame looks just like NASDAQ too. Same thing with the daily time frame. We are below the 21 exponential right now in confluence with NASDAQ's price action. A secondary candle closure below the 21 leads me to believe that the next potential target to the downside is 157, unless we flip right here, right now, and confirm uptrend continuation by confirming a higher low on current support. Again, we did see a little bit of an open below support that does not classify it as a resistance, and nor does it classify as a support that's been broken. We're still holding support. We're still holding above about $168. If we can close back above the 21, and from a conservative standpoint, back above 172.30, I'll look for this to play out as a higher low, and I'll look for continuation of the current all-time highs right around 182. Anything above there, I'm going to be looking for the 1.272 at 198. But again, that's assuming we break the all-time high resistance and flip it to new tentative support. That'd be the only thing in confluence with a bunch of other indications flashing off major signals that would convince me of that condition being met here. For now, waiting for confirmation below the 21 exponential, and if we do get that, again, I will be looking for 157.5 to be tested. Anything below there confirms a change of behavior, confirms a break of structure, and then we're gonna have to start talking about levels to the downside below that here. Thanks for coming through. If anybody did, no requests tonight. I do apologize. Maybe people are getting a little bit sad at the current market. Got to know the nature of the beast, guys. It is what it is. I get excited for times like these when we see downtrend structures potentially formulating. It gets exciting for me because I just want a fucking bear market for once in my goddamn life, or once in my damn trading career, right? So, yeah. Drop more requests tomorrow if you want to. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching the YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. And until next time, everybody, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for supporting me. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. I'm out.